Hello everyone, welcome to U.S. Military Summary. Upcoming, Ukraine is set to receive a large quantity of Western-made armored combat vehicles, following a joint agreement earlier this month between the United States, France, and Germany. Under the deal, Washington is committed to sending 50 Bradley infantry fighting vehicles to Ukraine as part of the latest $2.85 billion military aid package. In June, Washington began supplying Kiev with the high-mobility artillery rocket system HIMARS, but had yet to transfer Bradley vehicles due to concerns that they were too provocative. The provision of Bradleys marks the readiness of the Biden administration to expand the types of weapons and equipment provided to Ukraine. Will this type of weapon have an advantage over the BMP-3s that Russia is using on the battlefield? Let's compare these two tanks to see which one is stronger. About Bradley. The Bradley infantry fighting vehicle is named after General Omar Bradley, a prominent American general in World War II. It entered service in the 1980s with two basic variants, the M2 for infantry units and the M3 for cavalry and reconnaissance units. Each Bradley weighs between 27 and 33 tons and has a top speed of about 61 kilometers per hour. The vehicle can engage infantry and light armored vehicles with its 25mm cannon and machine gun. It can also engage tanks at long range with its TOW BMG-71 anti-tank missile system. George Barros, an analyst for the Institute of the Study of War, told Time, "The Bradley is an effective armored personnel carrier, able to traverse difficult terrain that Humvees and other wheeled vehicles cannot. It also helps safely transport infantry to engage with the enemy." Ukraine needs more mechanized equipment to maintain a military advantage after counterattacks. I hope the decision to provide Ukraine with Bradleys is a precursor to Kiev receiving Western-made battle tanks, something the Ukrainian government has been requesting for months, he added. According to Reuters, the Ukrainian military needs Bradleys because the vehicle can carry the long-range TOW missile to counter tanks with a range of more than 3 kilometers. Ukraine could use this firepower in combination with tanks as part of its combined arms mechanized warfare strategy. Compare Bradley with Russian combat vehicles in use. Military expert Reserve Major General Vladimir Murakovsky has compared the potential of the Russian BMP-3 and the American M2 Bradley infantry fighting vehicles and concluded that the BMP-3 is stronger. Mr. Murakovsky noted that both vehicles are essentially of the same generation. The U.S. infantry fighting vehicle was introduced into service in 1981, while the BMP-3 was introduced later in 1987. Both vehicles are used to perform similar tasks in joint operations with tanks in the front line. Although they have similar goals and missions, the two vehicles are quite different. The first difference is in mobility. During the evolution of the Bradley, the emphasis was on enhancing its protection capabilities, so the combat weight of the tank increased, due to the use of reactive armor, to 30 tons. This weight makes the M2 unable to cross water obstacles during the march, which is an important criterion for mechanized infantry divisions, the expert explained. Mr. Murakovsky believes that Russian engineers have helped the BMP-3 to achieve qualities that seemed impossible to coexist. The base variant weighs 19 tons. The vehicle has high mobility and the ability to swim across water obstacles, while it has small dimensions and high protection capabilities, he said. Meanwhile, the protection capabilities of both vehicles are almost the same. In the latest variants, the BMP-3 has anti-armor protection of 25 to 30mm caliber at the front projection of the vehicle and side protection against handheld anti-tank rocket launchers like the RPG-7 B-41 when using reactive armor, the expert said. According to him, the firepower of the BMP-3 is much stronger than the M2. The weapon of the Bradley is a 25mm automatic cannon used to engage light armored targets, and there is also an external anti-tank missile launcher. The weapon of the Russian infantry fighting vehicle is more formidable. It is a combination of a 100mm cannon, a 30mm cannon, and a 7.62mm machine gun. This combination allows for the destruction of more targets, from tanks to infantry in combat, Mr. Murakovsky said. He affirmed that when these two infantry fighting vehicles confront each other, the victory will belong to the BMP-3. The main role here is the more powerful weapon system. Bradley's downside. Due to its belly armor not being designed to withstand mines, the Bradley is still relatively vulnerable to mines and improvised explosive devices despite its thick armor plating. Like the BMP, the Bradley can only carry small teams of 6 to 7 infantry soldiers. Although the Bradley has gained a few tons in weight in recent years, most of the vehicles still use the same 500 horsepower diesel engine, which is not powerful enough and puts strain on the transmission and suspension systems, except for the brand new Bradley M2A4. The large weight of the Bradley also means a large logistical burden. In addition, unlike the older Soviet armored vehicles that NATO donated to Kiev, the Ukrainian military has no experience operating Bradleys and will need several months of training before they can be used. Overall, if deployed, the Bradley tanks will help increase the survivability of Ukrainian mechanized battalions against enemy firepower, as well as their ability to detect and destroy enemy vehicles. Experts from 1945 suggest that the Bradley will not be a game changer, but if deployed in large numbers, its ability to consume and maneuver could provide noteworthy results on the battlefield. That's the information about two leading infantry fighting vehicles of the US and Russia, M2 Bradley and BMP-3. Both vehicles have their own advantages and disadvantages, but according to military experts, BMP-3 is still stronger in situations facing off against Bradley. We hope this article has provided you with useful information about these two infantry fighting vehicles. If you found this article helpful, please like and subscribe to our channel, US Military Summary, to stay updated with more useful information about the US military. Thank you for reading and have a nice day.